Lyric, I'm sharing the stage. Be on the lookout for the pop-up. Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's broadcast of Start Your Business Now. Just waiting for my gorgeous, illustrious co-host. There she is, Rockstar 360 in the house. Woo, woo. Woo! How's it going, Miss Lyric?
Good now. I'm on like popcorn.
I know. This time it worked perfectly. So I'm excited. All right. So where do we want to start today?
Oh my God, from the beginning.
I know, it was like we didn't have any technical problems. I'm off that it's working.
Right, like, oh,
Nadia, now what are you supposed to do?
Right, now that it works, what do we do now? I can't take it. Here. Well, we first would like to welcome everybody that joined us today.
Yes, we are so excited that you are here. And we on today's broadcast, and we are going to be sharing some really good nuggets to help you get started in your business. So thank you again for joining our webinar today, Start Your Business Now.
Yes.
And before we dive into too much detail, Lyrics, I know how we are once we get going. I just want to share with everyone that there are two things that we definitely want to make sure we accomplish today during our conversation. And the first is to share tips and strategies that you can immediately implement. Not next year, not next week, but tonight if you are focused, but definitely by tomorrow, to go from getting started to getting paid. And the second is for those of you who would like to take the next step, because we get it. There are a lot of things that need to take place when you're getting started in your business, and you want to continue that conversation. And don't worry, Lyric and I have a very special invitation for you to do so. We can't wait to share that, but I'll dial it back. So those are the two things to make sure you get information that you can implement right away, and be on the lookout for that very special invitation just for you. All right, Lyric. So,
wow. Well, you know what, Dr. Nadia, while we're getting started, why don't we just, those that are on, let us know that you're there. Let us know who you are. What do you do? What's your business? Or what is your idea? Let's say if you're still working a 9-to-5, what is it that you hope to be able to do? What is your passion? Where do you want to be? And let us know. Maybe we'll have some tips that we can kind of direct directly towards you to help you make that transition. As Dr. Nadia says, take the leap for like her October conference. And so just put that in while we're talking, and that way we can say, hey, we got something just for you.
Just for you. And if you're joining us today and you're thinking, you know, am I in the right place? Is this right for me? You may be feeling like you're stuck in a rut, you know, many times. And I don't know, because we have different personalities, but there are those out there who are like, okay, I have this idea. I want to start a business. And then they look at all the things that they feel they need to get done. And it's like, oh my gosh, I don't know what to do. And so they just feel like they're stuck in a rut, just stuck. I don't know what to do next. I don't see things moving forward, and I feel like I'm just not making any progress. So if that's you, then you're definitely in the right place, because Lyric and I will share different strategies to get you moving forward. We want you to build up that momentum. And here's one of the things that I love to share with some of my clients, Lyric, because I tell them, it's hard to stop a moving train. So once you start building that momentum, you will be surprised at what it is that you can accomplish now that you're actually in motion. So don't worry if you're feeling like, you know what, just not kind of moving today. You're in the right place.
Yes. And sometimes, Dr. Nadia, we think that it's more difficult than it really, really is. Sometimes we think to even start a business, well, we got to make sure we got the incorporation papers in, my partnership stuff. I mean, so many different technical things. And that's not always the case. I mean,
Right.
heck, you could set up a lemonade stand, like I always say, and you're in business.
Yes.
And that's the same thing with whatever it is that you want to do. You can start right now. And that's some of the things that we share with you on how to do things on a budget right now, stuff that you could do right now. And
right now.
The thing is, sometimes we just don't know. But you will know now.
You know now. The other thing is, and I love that you mentioned that, Lyric, is you have to be careful of analysis paralysis, right? So you're looking at all the pieces that need to take place, and don't take it, what Lyric is saying, as we're shirking our responsibilities and not being responsible in terms of being legit. But I do believe, like you said, Lyric, sometimes we make it way too complicated in order to get started. I know when I got started, I filed a name, I filled out my LLC paperwork, which actually was a lot easier and cheaper than I thought. Mm-hmm. And I printed out these cheesy home business cards and on my printer in my office. And I went out because I had my name and I knew my name, email address, and phone number. That's all you needed. And that was it. I was out and I was meeting people and I was getting started in my business. And, you know, the different pieces to that business I built as we went along. And then, you know, so I feel that sometimes we just think I got to do this and I got to do that and I got to do this. No, just get started. Mm-hmm. And then build the pieces as you go, as figure it out.
Did you say your business cards were cheesy?
Cheesy. They were so boring. There were no color. It was some off-white, you know, the kind that you break and the perforated edges. Yes. I caught myself trying to get the clean line one so it didn't look really homemade. But I am not the girl with the logos and the colors and all that. That's why I work really hard so I can delegate that out to other people who are much better at that than me. And it just had like Dr. Nadia Brown. I had my company name, Doyen Leadership, and then I had my email and my phone number. When I say cheesy, I mean cheesy. It was so boring. And that was all I had. That was it. But when people said that, you know, do you have your business card? I was like, yes. And then I'll show you my next business card. So then I was like, oh yeah. I was like, I'm growing up. So then I hired someone to work on my next business card. And it's so funny because these are right here on my desk. I need to get rid of them. So you can see this. This was the business card. So then that was when the
QR codes.
The QR codes were, you know, coming in. And then I had on the back, I had my little authentic, confident, strong going. I had my little picture. You see, like I look all corporate.
And another QR code. Yes, two.
Another QR code. One wasn't enough. We had to have two, right? It was hilarious. So anyway, yes, but this was a step up from where I started. I don't have the original, but trust me, it wasn't this cute.
Well, it looks good. The card looks good. I just don't understand the two cute. Yeah, those.
Well, you know, when you go from cheesy, boring, you get overexcited. So this was the overly, oh my gosh, we got color. We can do QR codes. We can, you know, I just kind of went a little overboard. But anyway, I'm just saying we were really.
Was that your call to action?
No, I didn't have a call to action. I wasn't that savvy at that time. So,
oh, God.
Anyway, needless to say, start where you are, get started, and keep moving. You may also feel that, you know, when starting a business, especially for those of you who still have full-time jobs, that you are juggling a lot. You feel like you're juggling a lot with family, full-time job, and what we call your side hustle as you're working to get your business going. And how do I get started with all these different responsibilities? Well, Lyric and I are going to share strategies and tips to help you focus, because that focus will help you get paid. So definitely pay attention to that. But we get it. We juggle a lot. Lyric juggles a lot in her family. And, you know, it's amazing how she orchestrates all these things behind the scenes in order to be there for you and be able to serve. And so we are not, what's the word I'm looking for? We're not ignorant to what it takes to really move stuff around, especially on the home front, in order to be able to live out your passion and serve those that you desire to serve. And so if you're feeling like, you know what, it's just a lot that I'm juggling, it's a lot of demands on my time, maybe even on your finances, don't worry. We're going to share some strategies today to help you really move forward in that.
Yes. And I was speaking to another entrepreneur just, the last couple of days, and her thing was helping mothers, wives, housewives rather, pursue their passion, because sometimes we get so caught up in family. I'm a wife, I got to drive the soccer van, I go to the PTA meetings, somebody got practice, I got to make sure dinner's ready at 5, I got to read a bedtime story. And we get so consumed in our world. And it's not that we don't love our family, but there's something inside of us that says, hey, I got some stuff I want to do too.
Right. Mm-hmm.
We'll show you how to strategize that so that it all works together.
Absolutely. And then if you're feeling like you're going around in circles, you know what that's like, right? Lyric, we're just like, I feel like this is Groundhog's Day. I'm living the same day over and over again. Don't worry. It's all good. We have answers and solutions and strategies. And as we're sharing information, be sure to share your, say hello, ask any questions. You can type those in the chat box. We want this to be a very interactive session. So you don't just want to hear from us. So we can definitely personalize it to your specific situation. And so definitely don't be shy about asking those questions in the chat box or in the Q&A section. So Lyric, before we dive any further into more of the content, tell us a little bit about your journey as an entrepreneur and what has led you to where you are today.
Well, sure, not a problem at all. Being an entrepreneur for me, I've always been an entrepreneur. Let me say that. And I always kind of dance to the beat of my own drum, but I colored outside the lines a lot. So therefore, when there's no structure to it, you kind of go up and down, up and down. Things you thought was a great idea, they really weren't a great idea. Or better yet, they were a great idea, but you didn't know they were a great idea because it didn't work properly. Well, it didn't work properly because you don't have systems, tools. I didn't know about coaching. I didn't know about anything. All I knew was, find somebody that does what you do, and hopefully they'll share the information with you. That does not work. So therefore, it was rough. It was really, really rough. And being a single parent, and I mean a single parent, that's like with no support team, it was rough. I knew I was meant to be an entrepreneur. I knew that I probably would be fired if I had a 9-to-5. And I was aware of that. And but I couldn't get it right. I could not get it right. And so many people say, well, just get a job. Like, duh. You mean you're just going to be hungry? You're just going to wait for them to put that little yellow note on your door telling you got to move? Like, lady, get a job. And I was like, but no, I don't want a job. They're going to fire me. I don't want to. But I just kept pushing. I kept pushing. But I would have really great times. And then I would just crash and burn. So it hasn't been an easy road. The turn did not come until I started putting myself around like-minded people. Now, I know you guys hear that a lot, and I'm telling you what I know. It wasn't until I started going to conferences with people that were doing the same things as I was doing. I was going so much that my friends around me were like, oh, you're just a conference junkie. Every conference that come up, you're going to it. I mean, I was called the conference junkie.
Not the conference junkie.
I was the conference junkie. That's what they called me. So I was just like, okay, I got one or two options here. One, I can ignore them and keep going to the conferences. Or two, I could say, well, maybe they're right. I mean, they're the closest things to me. They're my good girlfriends. Maybe I should listen to them because maybe this is like a fluke. I'm just wasting my time. Yeah, I didn't listen to them.
Obviously. We're so glad you did not listen to them, Lyric.
Listen to them. So once I started being around other people that wanted to do what I wanted to do, and that was be a successful entrepreneur, we started sharing resources. Then I started networking and connecting with people. And then I said, oh, so how do you do that? They're like, oh, I'll show you. I do this all the time, or I use this system, this tool. And I was like, you're gonna tell me? Like, you're gonna show me? You're gonna reveal your sources and your ideas? You're not worried about, because it was so hard to find somebody to show you how to implement certain things in your business, because they looked at you as competition. But the mindset is different when you hang around like-minded people. So once I connected with the right people, I learned the right things. And so I said, you know what, Dr. Nadia, I'm sure some people that were like me, that are looking for somebody to help them and can't find it. And so I'm just saying, you know what, I'm going to make sure that I do not be like those people. I'm going to make sure that I'm here to help others so that they can take the shortcut. You don't have to do it. And so that's why we, said, hey, we have great resources together collectively, but why not share with others so they can just take the shortcut? Why do you have to go through all of that? Let me show you, like, look, I wish somebody would have showed me, but it's okay.
Right?
And I'm willing to share it because I know what that feels like. I've been there.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I agree. When I was actually the opposite of Lyric, I was the corporate girl. And I wanted to be the corporate girl. I had no desire to be an entrepreneur. I thought entrepreneurs were very crazy people. Now that I am an entrepreneur, I know for sure that we are very crazy people, but not in the way that I thought at that time. And it was just really interesting. I started out in engineering and IT, and I was always convinced that if I could just find the right company, the right position, I would just move up the ladder. I'd make tons of money and life would be grand. And so that was the thing. But as I got more and more into corporate, I quickly began to realize that I was a little different from other people. And that's the way that I thought. I didn't realize at that time what to call it. I just knew that I was different. And I remember Toby and I were dating, and I just said to him, what's wrong with me? Why can't I be that girl, this is happy to go to work and, just happy to be there and excited to do my job, and that's it, and not have all these aspirations of more. And then as we got to the doctorate, so because I kept going to college, two reasons. One, I was like, maybe the next degree will help, open that next door. So and many people feel that way, Lyric, if I get another degree or I get another certification, that's gonna, solve this thing on the inside. And that was part of my motivation. And the other reason was just, that I won't say just, but it was that I had, made a promise when I was 17 to my granny that I would go all the way. So there was that piece of it. And honestly, when I decided to go for my doctorate, I was looking at my career at that time. And again, I was not thinking entrepreneur. And I was just like, I don't even know how this doctoral degree will help me in the corporate world. But, I know my granny won't be here for another 50 years for me to figure some things out. So let me go get this degree, and prayerfully I'll be able to get it while she's still alive. It's coming handy, a lot more handy now that I'm out of corporate. But it's just interesting. So for those who are thinking that way, because I've talked to so many women, especially women in corporate, because that's the audience that I really primarily served when I first started my business. They didn't feel like they had enough. And so you saw a lot of that, Lyric, of going back to get degrees or certifications. And I know some very educated folks. And I often tell Toby, because, and not to get too far off on this tangent, but just something to think about. Toby's my husband, for those who may not know. And we'll have these conversations. And it's funny, just this past weekend, this was a conversation that came up about, I said, babe, if we had children, I'm not sure I would push them to go to college. And I know people are like, wait, what? Because you have all these degrees, Nadia. But I feel like, over the years, one of the things that I had to do in becoming an entrepreneur was to unlearn some of the stuff that I spent so many years and so many thousands of dollars learning. And so I'm just excited today to be able to serve women because, like Lyric said, getting started, you just don't know where to start. And when I accepted that corporate was not going to be it, things were not going to work out for me, I needed help to figure out what to do next, because things are very different when you're out on your own. And now you're responsible for figuring things out, and you're responsible for generating revenue instead of just collecting a check. So we're really excited to be here today to share with you resources and tools in order to help you go from getting started to getting paid. And like I said at the beginning, we have something very special for you that we put together collectively. It was like, all right, Larry, what we gonna do? What we gonna put together? Because, you know, we got to come up with something juicy. So you want to make sure you stick around for that. But we want to go ahead and really start to dive into the content. Again, for those of you who are on, if you have any questions, don't be shy. You can say hello to us and, you know, let us know what your business is. What are any of your questions? Because we want to make sure you get those questions answered. And we're just so excited that you joined us today.
Yes. And you know what, Dr. Nadia, I was thinking, when you spoke about the degrees, spoke about there was just something in you like, okay, maybe if I get one more piece of paper, it'll fill whatever that thing is. Because sometimes we don't know what that thing is, and we just keep searching for something to fill that and satisfy that thing. And and I remember going to get my degree as well, and people were like, well, why you get a degree? Like, you're an entrepreneur. You don't need to go get this degree. And I was like, well, you know, I'm going to go to Howard University, and my degree is in radio, television, and film. So I'm just going to be like the bomb. And I said, you know what? That was $50,000. And when BET called and asked, could I assist them? They didn't ask me, did I have a degree?
Say that again, right?
Radio 1 with Kathy Hughes. They didn't ask me, did I have a degree? I said, oh, yeah, about this thing. So
for me, Larry, I say take that $50,000 and find you the bomb.com business coach. I'm just saying too. And I will tell people there's no substitute for education. So let me first say that, because I'm an education nut. I probably would have just educated myself differently. I'd have still been educated, but probably in a different arena, a different format, a different way of being educated. And I remember, I went back to school. So I didn't graduate from Howard till I was 40. But I had the opportunity to stay within Maryland and go to like Bowie State or University of Maryland for free, because I was a 4.0 student. But oh no, I had to go down to Howard University, honey, because all the entertainers came from there. But that's okay. You know, it's okay. But I just tell people, just really think about it, because sometimes you don't know what that it thing is you're looking for. Take 2 seconds to step back and just try to figure that out first before you make the next move. And, you know, just think about it. Because it could be that passion that you've been wanting to do, that you've been ignoring for so long. And what would it look like if you could do your passion and make money at the same time? Oh, that's a great question.
What would it look like?
And that's a good segue, you know, as you mentioned that, what would it look like? What's your vision? What would it look like? That's a great question. What would it look like for you to be able to do your passion and get paid at the same time? Who are you called to serve? Who do you desire to serve? Which leads us right into our whole target market discussion, and really starting at that point, because one of the things is, you know, who's your target market? Who's your ideal client? And being very clear on that. Where are you going with your business? What are your business goals? Whether it's a certain number of clients you desire, a certain amount of money you desire to make. I know many clients that we work with, when they have corporate jobs, that, you know, I call it the freedom number. We're going to talk about that a little bit later. I don't want to get ahead of myself, but, you know, understanding what that vision is so that you have something to work towards in order to move forward in your business. And another thing it also does, Lyric, and I know we both are slightly guilty of this, when you're an entrepreneur, and especially these days, there's so many options, right? So many tools, so many gurus, so many programs, so many checklists, and you can get so sidetracked pursuing these different things. And it's not that they're bad, but you want to be very clear on what's going to help you progress, get to that next step, start to generate the revenue you want to see, help you to reach your ideal client and your target market. And some programs may be good for later, but not right now.
Yeah.
So just, having that vision, having that level of clarity helps you to stay focused, and it helps you to stay on track.
Yes. And the vision is important, because if you know what it is you want to do, if you're very clear on that, then it's very easy to determine who do you serve, because you have to know who your target audience is. Is it just women? Is it women and men? Is it for young adults, or is it for women over 40? Are you a life coach? Well, you can't be a life coach to somebody that's 20. Like, you have to know the difference, because at 20, they haven't even had a life. So you don't want to get your audience confused, because you might not make any money trying to be a life coach to a 20-year-old. So you have to be very clear on what your vision is, because you can't serve everybody. So you have to figure out who that person is. And then once you figure out who your target audience is and who do you serve and what that product or service looks like, and once you master that, then there's nothing wrong with saying, okay, I've mastered that. I got that going. I'm going to create another program that may be for somebody who's 20 trying to find direction on, should I finish college, or should I, get a trade? Should I go to corporate America? You never know. So it's not that you can't have multiple products that serve different audiences. You first have to start with master one, but you can't master anything if you have not mastered who it is that you are and what your vision is and what your passion is. So if you are somebody that just loves helping people, you're the one that your girlfriend always calling, telling you her problems, and you always got an answer, you might want to look a little closer into that, because it's okay to get paid from that. Now, your girlfriend may not pay you, but there are people that need what you have. And sometimes you have to recognize it's stuff that you do every single day in your life that you sometimes aren't even aware. Wait a minute, I'm pretty good at this. And you can make money at it. You're doing it anyway. So sometimes you got to sit down and see what that looks like.
Absolutely. And, another thing that you mentioned, Lyric, that just along those lines, I'll just use an example for myself. When I first started, I knew that I wanted to help women leaders, primarily those who were in corporate, in organizations that were more male dominated. So your engineering firms, your IT firms, some of your financial services. And that was my market. And that's where I focused my energy. So even when you're starting to talk about where do I find them? Well, now that I know who I serve, I started to research, well, where do these ladies hang out? And one of the ways that I helped grow my business was I started going to their networking meetings, and I started speaking and letting them know what I talked about, and then inviting them to have conversations. So there are different strategies, but you're right. I would have been all over the place. And honestly, when I first started, I was in my office trying to figure out a program to create for this imaginary market, because I wasn't really clear on what that really exactly. So I knew I wanted to serve women, but you're right. There's so many different types of women. Nadia picked some women and figure it out. So going through and working with a coach, I hired a coach to help me, and she just gave me different activities to help me really uncover, what that would look like. And then we started to put together those tangible pieces. Mm-hmm. So then I started to go where my ideal market was, to let them know who I was and how I could serve them. And it's the same whether you go physically. So when I started, I went physically to the meetings in person and did trainings. And now we have so many tools and resources to really help us find our peeps online. And so you leverage both of those models and those strategies. And so again, depending on who you work with, they'll tell you, you may get different advice. I definitely, obviously, am a strong proponent of training and speaking and finding your people and getting in front of the room and letting them know how you serve them. And then, of course, leveraging technology is awesome. So just understanding that and being able to move forward. But again, as you said, it starts with that vision and understanding who it is that you serve before. And so many times we try to skip those steps, and we want to put together a cool program. Well, who are you selling it to? And is that program going to actually meet their needs? Because that's another thing. I could be trying to put together a program and it may better fit women in corporate, but then I try to sell it to entrepreneurs. It may be great, but it doesn't fit their needs. So you have to really understand that. So also understanding the needs, wants, and desires of those who you are looking to serve in order to be able to do that. So those are definitely some very key pieces to getting started and looking at that.
Mm-hmm. And also be kind of real with yourself. I just came across somebody who wants to be a business coach, which is nothing wrong with that. It's okay to be a business coach. She's never had a business.
That could be.
Yeah. So, and she still works a 9 to 5. And there's nothing wrong with having a 9 to 5 and starting your business on the side. So let me say that first. That is nothing wrong with that at all, zero. But it's hard to teach an entrepreneur how to be a better entrepreneur if you, my dear, are not an entrepreneur. So don't just pick anything because it sounds good or it's a current trend. Everybody's being a business coach. I think I'm going to be a business coach. Stay in your lane. Because if you stay in your lane, you will do so much better. Just focus on what you know and what you know well. And it's okay to tweak it. It's okay sometimes to change your mind. Because at first I know a lot of things. You know, I said, okay, I'm going to help people tap into their inner rock star. I'm going to be the pusher. I could just push, which that is my personality. Okay. And then I said, well, I've got with this team, so I learned systems, tools, and automation. I'm going to help people automate their business and go viral. Then I was told, well, if you're going to do that, you got to learn how to do HTML coding and go to
no, never mind.
And I said, oh, I don't want to do that. You know? And then I said, well, you know what? I love being in the media. Being in media and branding and making people look like rock stars. You know, I love to say, no, girl, put on the red lipstick, really give it to them. That's what I love. And then I said, bingo. That's it. So sometimes you may not get it on the first try, which is okay. I mean, I still can help you automate your business now. Because just because you know a lot of stuff don't mean that that's what you're supposed to do. Okay? So, just stay authentically you. Stay in your zone. And if you change something or you tweak it, it's okay. Long as you're in your zone. It's when you try to do something that is just not you, it will not work. Okay?
I love that.
It's not going to work. So just stay you. People are going to buy whatever it is you have because there's always somebody out there that needs what you have. Okay? So I don't care what it is. You know, I wish I was the one who thought of selling bottled water. That would have been me. Because I'm sure somebody said, we don't need that.
We don't need it.
Bottled water, who going to buy that? Who is going to buy it? I'm sure somebody said that they were crazy.
Right. As I have cases of bottled water in my pantry right now. It's ridiculous.
Exactly. So, you know, and sometimes it helps to write it out. What are all the things that I know how to do? And what are all the things that I love to do? And I always say, add one more column. What are all the things that I could do for free? Like somebody just doesn't even have to pay me.
Oh, I love that. You know, and Lyric, I wish that. Yes. So you actually touched on a lot of great things. So what I want you all to do is actually grab your notebooks if you haven't already. One thing, so a couple of things that Lyric touched on that I want to actually just kind of piggyback and pull some juicy, even more juicy nuggets out of was one, when you have those ideas and you're looking at your vision, you want to be clear on that. So we're going to come back to that actually. But the other thing is many times, Lyric, what we do, especially for those of us that are coming from corporate and starting our own thing, we're really guilty of this one, is we feel like we're starting fresh. So we take all those years of experience that we've been in this corporate arena and all the things that we've learned and all our gifts and talents, and we pack them in that box that we packed up our desk and just took them away. And I don't want you to do that, because there's so many things that you've learned and you've gleaned upon throughout your experiences that can help you in this next phase of your life. And now that you're starting this journey. So don't say, and for instance, one of the things, and Lyric and I have joked about this quite a bit. I was a project manager in my corporate career for years. That was a good one. And then when I left corporate, I was like, well, I'm not doing that anymore, because I'm training and I'm speaking and I'm coaching and I'm doing all these really cool things and I'm doing all this new stuff. And, you know, it was great. And it was like, well, what about all these years of experience doing this thing that actually these skills help people? And like you said, Lyric, it's easy. And one of the things that I had was, I had a coach to tell me, she said, you should charge the most for what comes to you the easiest. And because we've been kind of taught and conditioned to feel like, well, you know, if it's too easy, then it should be free. Or if it's too easy, then people won't value it. But the thing is, these things come easy to you, but they don't come easy to other people. And you bring so much value to the table. And we just kind of seem to tuck that away and put ourselves in these positions where everything is hard. Mm-hmm. You have enough things that will be hard in starting your business. Don't make it difficult by not leveraging your gifts and your talents.
Overthinking it.
Right. And definitely overthinking it and taking those things for granted. Because while we still learn, like Lyric said, we're always learning and going to conferences and trainings and doing webinars. And, you know, there's lots to learn, but you already know a lot of stuff. Yeah. And if you're over the age of 20, you probably know a lot of stuff just from being alive, just from waking up every day. And so knowing that your life experiences, your work experience definitely help you to move forward. And there's just such a wealth of knowledge that a lot of times we discount, we discard, we don't value it. And people truly want what it is that you have. And so it's just funny because Lyric and I've talked a lot about that project management thing recently a lot. It's like, well, I don't do that anymore because I'm not in corporate. And she's like, well, Nadia, but people don't know how to do this. But I don't know. So it's just funny.
It is funny. And I was just thinking about, I had a client call me and wanted me to coach her on YouTube advertising. And she's very successful, brings in a lot of revenue every year. Her YouTube following is bananas. So you start sometimes like, well, what you need me for? You know, you start questioning yourself because somebody, you know, calls on you and they may be doing better off than you. And you sometimes like, well, why they want me? Guess what? She does very well revenue-wise. She has a lot of followers on YouTube. But guess what? She don't know how to advertise on YouTube. But I do. So you start thinking, wait a minute. So it's always somebody that needs what you have, no matter what their status is, high, low, medium, it doesn't make a difference. You have the information and somebody needs it. And you recognize that and not second guess yourself.
Absolutely. So in your notebook, what I want you to do is actually start to draft out your vision. Where do you want to be within the next 12 months? What does that look like?
On the beach.
Say that again, Lyric.
On the beach.
On the beach. So we know where Lyric will be. So what's the day? I'll make sure to mark that in my calendar. And we'll talk about which beach later. We'll talk about that offline. So where is it that you want to be in the next 12 months? Who do you serve? And getting really clear on that. And in the program that Lyric and I put together, we spend a lot of time diving into your target market, how to find the clients that you serve, building out that vision. Because here's the thing, we have these big visions. And I encourage everyone to have a big vision. But then we get overwhelmed by that big vision. And so here's how you move forward. It's the same way as the way you eat an elephant, one bite at a time. And we help you to break that down into those actionable steps. And you just do the next step, the next best thing to move forward and not get lost in the land of overwhelm because you're trying to do so much at once in terms of moving forward. So we definitely want to look at that. Also, what's your business model? So one of the things that Lyric mentioned was 12 months from now, she wants to be hanging out at the beach. Great. That's wonderful. So I think it's safe to assume that there are some elements in Lyric's business that will either leverage some automation, leverage some online components where people can go and register and sign up for things without her being there.
Yes, that's the hashtag money.
She has a business that allows her to travel and work from anywhere. Yes. So start to really think about your business model and look at your current lifestyle as well and your desires around that as you start to pull that stuff together.
Exactly. That's the hashtag beach money, Dr. Nadia.
Okay. I'm typing that. Look, I'm typing that in the chat because I just love that one.
Hashtag beach money. In case you do not know what that is how do I make money from the beach? So when you automate things and have programs and digital universities and things of that nature, you technically don't have to be there. You know, you could be anywhere. You could be on the beach. And so therefore, why not? Right, Crystal?
Hi, Crystal.
I want to do it from the beach. Like right now, we're doing this webinar. We're in 2 different locations. We're on 2 different coasts.
Yes, 2 different time zones.
Time zones. So why can I not be in my office and be on the beach, sipping on my drink, saying, "Hey, y'all," and do my webinar? Right? Why can't I? Who said that I can't? Who said that you can't?
Yes, that's so true. You know, speaking of beach, Lyric, I remember last year in my retreat, I was sitting there literally, no lie, ladies, at the beach. I was sitting there at the beach watching the sun set. I was snapping pictures, sharing them in the Facebook group. And we did just this. We had a broadcast. We did a training that night. And I was hanging out at the beach and it was absolutely delightful. So again, thinking about your business model, thinking about your lifestyle, thinking about, you know, you may have small children. Your children may be grown out of the house and you're like, woohoo, hallelujah. Whatever the case may be, you want to look at all those pieces as you're pulling together your plan and your strategy.
Exactly. And
so
go ahead.
No, so we're gonna keep moving along. So the next one, so we talked about vision. Where do you want to be in the next 12 months? Who do you serve? Who's your target market, your ideal client? What's your business model? And as you start to think through what those programs might look like. So then the next key to creating that roadmap to success is putting together your strategy or your plan. And unfortunately or fortunately, yes, this plan includes numbers. Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, 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 dun.
And I have my handy calculator. So again, you know, earlier I mentioned your freedom number. For those, again, who have a job, we start to calculate what's that number that you need to start generating in revenue for you to feel comfortable cutting the cord. That doesn't mean you're necessarily going to cut it, but at least you know what that number is and what it looks like. And for some of my clients, that number was greater than what their current salary was. Some it was less. So when you sit down and really start to look at the numbers and understand your particular financial situation, you may say, you know what, I make this amount, but you know, maybe based on your savings or based on other criteria, you just may have a really well-paying job and you're living at a pace where the numbers are quite comfortable for you. We'll figure out what that number looks like. So then you can start to take the steps necessary to move forward in order for you to make that transition from your job and doing what you love full time. And Lyric, I know you also talked about the income stabilization point. So I'll let you talk a little bit more about that particular number and how we come up with those calculations.
No problem. Income stabilization point. Freedom number. Now, what is that number? What is it that I know last week Crystal mentioned there were 2 numbers for her, one to be debt free and one to be comfortable. Let's focus on the comfortable. I like that number better. So, for example, sometimes we pick a number at the top of the year. We're going to say, I'm going to make, let's say $120,000. That's my number. This is January 1st. It's one of my resolutions, and I'm going to make 120 this year. It's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that number. It's nothing wrong with having that as your goal. The only thing is, how are we going to get there? And, you know, setting resolutions, most of us don't do very well with that. Like, you know, somewhere around June, we fell off. Whatever the resolution is, we kind of fell off. So we don't want to fall off of our freedom number goals. Okay. And if you're anything like me, my freedom number needs to be like Harriet Tubman freedom number. I need to really get it. Okay. So let's say your number is 120,000. The best way to achieve this by the end of the year is to break it down. What does that look like? Okay, so 120,000, that tells me that I need to do 10,000 a month, give or take $1. Okay, $10,000 a month. That sounds like a big number. You know, it's not nothing small, but it is achievable. Now, how is that achievable, Lyric? That's kind of like, whoa. Well, y'all said freedom number, right? You didn't say just enough number. Those are two different numbers. So you have $10,000 a month because you have to break these numbers down. Because if you don't, you will never hit your target. So break the numbers down. So we're talking about $10,000 a month. That's $5,000 every 2 weeks. And you're probably saying, Lyric, $5,000 every 2 weeks? I barely make that in a month. Oh, but don't worry. This is our freedom number. And we have to set it. Okay, so that's $2,500 a week. That's the goal that we're going to set. We're not going to set $120,000 for the year. We're going to set $2,500 a week as our goal. So every week we have a new goal of $2,500. Now you're probably saying, Lyric, that's nice that you done broke that all the way down like that and make it seem like it's small. It's still not small. But it's freedom, guys. Freedom, freedom, freedom. So now we got to talk about our products and services. How many products do we have to sell to get $2,500 in 1 week? How many services do we have to provide to get $2,500, you know, every week? If you have a product that is $500, we got to sell 5, right? Okay, I got a product, $500. I know every week I need to sell 5 of those products. 5, just 5. And if you do it that way, you reach your goal a little quicker. So if you do not make it on the first week, you didn't sell 5, you sold 1. Okay, I missed my target of 5. The second week, let's say I still didn't get 5, I got 3. You're getting closer. And let's say the third week you did 0. And the fourth week you did 1. Therefore, you have taken 4 weeks. You tried to tweak it. You made some changes. You made some adjustments. But you did not blow your year. Because what happens is when we set that one number at the top of the year, when we get to June and realize we're nowhere near our goal, our freedom number, it's too late to catch up. It's too late. It's too hard. 9.9 out of 10, you're not going to hit that goal. Because how do we catch up? It was 6 months behind the 8 ball. But if we start off with, okay, I need to sell 5 products a week to get my $2,500, or you may have $1,000 product. Well, heck, then at that point, I just need 2.5. Okay, I just need to sell 2 good ones, and I'm on a roll. But right. The point is, if I do not meet my goal in the first 4 weeks, guess what? I have 11 more months for me to get it right. So therefore, when I get to month 6, I've already killed the game. I've already figured this thing out. So the rest of the 6 months, the rest of the year, I'm on a roll because I've got into the swing of what I need to do to create $2,500 a week. So at the end of the month, at the end of the year, I may not have hit 120 because I messed up the first month. Remember that? Well, great. I made 110. I'll take that. But I was able to see where I was going downhill or doing things wrong because I did not make my weekly goals. So I said, okay, something's not working. And if I got 2 products, how much of each one do I need to sell that week? But when it doesn't go right in 1 week, tweak it. Then in the second week, you might find something else to improve to get more sales, more leads, more people wanting your products, more, opportunities to put your product and services out there to the masses. And it's easier to analyze and tweak when it's only 7 days that you have to focus on. Focus on 52 weeks, you're going to be mad because it's just too difficult. So when we talk about our freedom number, guys, let's talk about what that number is, break it all the way down to how many products and services do I need to do for that 1 week.
I love that, Lyric. And I posted in the chat box as you were talking, I was typing. So I put the numbers out there. I think my daily number is it depends on which number you decide to calculate. So for those of me looking at my number, what I did was I divided 120,000 by 365. So to get that number. But of course, if you're not working 7 days a week and you take vacation, then you'll want to obviously adjust that unless, as Lyric mentioned, you have systems in place where you're generating revenue and you have hashtag beach money coming in. But as she also mentioned, and we won't go into a lot of detail about that on this webinar, but one of the things that is looking at your product offerings. And so, like she mentioned, you may have multiple products. So then that gives you the opportunity to be like, okay, well, if I sell 10 of these or 12 of these, then we're able to really start to see the revenue. And so for one of my clients, what I did was I looked at her current business model and we started talking about how we could restructure some things. And then that's exactly what I did, Lyric. I said, well, we actually put together these programs because one of the things she's dealing with, and you may find that as a solopreneur, is that you reach an income gap. Or not the gap, that's not the word I'm looking for, an income ceiling. That's the word I'm looking for. An income ceiling because there's only one of you. So there's only one of you to do whatever it is that you do. So as we're having this conversation, she's like, Dr. Nadia, I want to hit this level of income, but right now I'm afraid that if I take on too many more clients, I will be underwater in terms of just the sheer amount of work that I have. She's also a wife. She's also a mother and a volunteer. So it's not like she works 7 days. Like there's some time she has to, go to Girl Scouts. Like there's this other time outside of doing her work and her business. And so we started looking at ways to leverage her time, whether it's systems and automation or actually looking at, being able to work one to many, where you'll see some of your group programs or some of your online programs. And we put together some different tiers. And then I said, let's look at this. So we put together a plan that actually right now would not require her to bring on more staff at this point. At some point, depending on where she wants to go in her business, then she'll probably have to bring on some more people. But we were able to take her income to around 155,000 in that year. And looking at putting together some different programs, we also put together a nice spread in terms of price points so that she could, be able to work with more people, but not necessarily give up all her time or give away the cow for free. You know what I'm saying? Right. So we had to really look at that. And so as you're looking at your products, your services, and your pricing, part of what will help you do is to put together that structure. So, she had a $12,000 program. She had a $47 program. And it just, where she can meet. And obviously we have some things in the middle. But definitely looking at that, especially when you're looking at the amount of time. And if you still have a job, you're just limited in the amount of time that you have to really focus on your business. And there's nothing wrong with that, but you're just going to have to learn to truly work smarter and not harder. And there's we have no excuse. Yeah. There's so many tools and ways and automation to really help us to run our businesses without us physically sitting there and working in our business. And so what are those tools that are going to help you move forward in your business and free up your time?
Great. Oh, wow. Crystal is working. I know.
I was like, what?
Crystal, you seem like you got it going on. We might have to call Crystal.
I know, right? You go, girl. Crystal's been working it out. And so just looking at your numbers, and where you instruct clients to start is where's your current revenue, whether you're already in business and you're like, I'm bringing in, and we're just going to keep it simple. We like simple math around these parts, $100,000 per year, or in your job, you're making $75,000 per year, whatever that case may be. That's when we start to look at, okay, here's what we're going to have to do in order to start to replace that income or to help you get to that next level and start to price it out in such a way. And then we put together the strategy to actually start to have the sales conversations. Yes, you have to talk to people.
Sales.
I know. I'm sorry to hurt your feelings. You have to actually talk to people in order to enroll them in your different programs and get you started from getting started to getting paid.
And let me say this, what I've learned over the years is sometimes we always want to sell these high-end products. Mm-hmm. My product is $15,000 and I offer all this stuff, which is nice because we all would like to have high-end clients. There's nothing wrong with that. That works, right? But it's a lot of convincing to get that particular client. But if you're starting off, if you have products that's $500, it is a lot easier to get more people in your tribe at a lower price point, and then building your tribe is a lot easier that way. And then you could say, okay, now I have these different tier of products. So if you're coming into business, you sell more products and services at a lower price point than a high-end price point. So just kind of think about that when you're starting off, and then graduate and have maybe 3 different tiers that have 3 different components that you can offer your clients.
Absolutely. And I would just say, and that's one of the things, I'll put this out there because you'll hear different gurus or different experts that'll tell you the exact opposite. So Lyric and I have had that discussion. Well, this person told me the exact opposite of that, Lyric. But what I will say, I do definitely encourage you to start where you're comfortable and you have to have practice, whether you're selling a $500 product or a $25,000 product, and you're having those conversations. You have to get comfortable with having the conversation and asking people for money. And one of the things that I have learned is that when you're not comfortable or confident, it doesn't matter what the number is, because you have to deal with some of your money drama around just, asking for money in exchange for your products and services. And many times we bring all that drama from our lives into our businesses. And so being comfortable in that conversation. And one of the challenges that I've worked with clients on, we've done it with 100 No's challenge. And so it didn't matter what product or service they offered, because we had some network marketing or direct sales folks in our group at that time. We had a nice coaches, trainers, consultants, didn't matter. The thing was to start having enough conversations, because many times that's where we get stuck. One is our mindset around asking for the money. And then the other one is we're just not having enough conversations to ask for money. Mm-hmm. So, and of course, like Lyric said, when you make it easy, I call it a baby step. When you have a program that's a nice baby step, it's really great, especially when you're unknown in the market, for people to say, well, I'm not quite sure I know Lyric, but I think I like her. And this program, like she said, is $500. Or if you have a membership type program, something that's generating monthly recurring revenue, it may be $47. You know what? I'm going to just start here and see how that works. And then I'll upgrade and enroll in some of her higher end programs, because I probably enrolling in 47, but what I really need is her $25,000 program, because I don't have time for all the things but wherever that is. So I just want you to start thinking through what that might look like for you. But like Lyric said, when you have that comfort level and you're looking to build your tribe and build your business, and you also have to think about your lifestyle too. So there are those, again, who are like, I only want to work with 3 clients or a smaller number of clients. So you may have a higher end price point because you're going to run a more boutique type business versus someone who is like, I just love this and I want to do more of this, or I'm really looking to generate that online business where it's designed to serve larger numbers of people. So it goes hand in hand when you're looking at your business model and your pricing, because what you don't want to do is to set yourself up to work with a large number of one-on-one clients, and now you're not charging enough and then you're burned out. So definitely look at the type of product and the price. So don't just say, well, Lyric said to offer my coaching. Nope, that's not what Lyric said. You want to definitely look at the product, how much of your time and all the elements that go into that, and then as well as the price. And those are things that we definitely help you strategize on your services, your products, your offerings, and your different price points. Mm-hmm. So just, to add some what's that, whipped cream and cherry on top of that, what you just shared, Lyric. That was just
and not only that, to take the stress off of you, collaborate. Find somebody to do it with. That's even easier. Because sometimes it's like, oh my God, can I do this? Or can I offer all the pieces that's needed? I really only know half of it. Find somebody that knows the other half. And guess what? Collaborate. Now we got this product that we could do full service and get started. Because it's easier when you can collaborate and one person is great at one thing and the other is great at the other, and pull it together because people need it all. So there's many different ways to do this. And that's some of the things that we're going to be talking about and showing you guys. I think that's a great way to get started.
Yep, I love it. And one more thing, when you mentioned collaboration, Lyric, I just recently, I have a colleague who she actually used to be my coach many years ago. Well, not that many, but yeah, several years ago. And she has a membership type program. So she leverages some live pieces and some automated where they have the portal piece. But like you said, to your point, Lyric, as far as collaboration, she invites her friends. I won't say all of her friends, but she invites colleagues that specialize in different things. She has her piece. So as Lyric said earlier, stay in your lane. And then she just invites others in her circle, others of her colleagues, to come in and train and do master classes to add value to her tribe and to her community. And I had the honor and the privilege to go in and do some sales training for her community. And we had a blast. And so it was just one of those things. So when you think about, okay, like Lyric said, you have your thing and you want to be able to pull these different elements, just jot down some names of people who would love, they would just do it because they like you. Yeah. They would just come in and do it. And when I put together my program, I was like, okay, I know this person who's really good at this whole branding piece. She's going to, come in and do a training on this, and you can record it, add it to your portal, and just keep it moving. So you will be amazed at how much you can get done. And it's a lot simpler than you may think.
Exactly. And that's one of the things Crystal was asking about, is membership portals. I think that's a great way to go. And that's consistent because the people pay you every month, however you have it set up. And I just think that's just a great way, because heck, if it's $100 a month, or you got a level that's $50 a month, break it up. You got one level that could just be calls. You have another tier that has calls and training. Then you have a third tier, calls, training, and one-on-one coaching.
Right.
Do you need to get to your freedom number?
Right. And it doesn't have to be as complicated as we make it sometimes. So for some of you, and I'll just throw this out there, it's just something that popped in my head too, that's been at this for a while. Go back and leverage some of that content that you have just sitting around and you're not even using. I think about some of the training programs and different things I put together years ago. That content is still relevant. And there are different ways that you can leverage that. So just a number of different ideas to help you start to pull those different pieces together. And again, and getting started to getting paid, we help you walk through step by step how to pull all of those pieces together so that you know exactly what you need to do in order to go from getting started to getting paid and starting to generate the level of revenue that you want to see in your business.
Yep.
So Lyric, before we talk about extend our special invitation, I would love for you to just talk a little bit about being a rock star and creating your own hype?
Oh my goodness. I talked about this yesterday, Dr. Nadia, because sometimes we just are like a secret CEO. That person who's in business, they are a CEO. They are in business, but they're a secret CEO. Nobody knows that they even exist. How are you in business and nobody knows that you exist? Now, your friends know that you exist, and they're patting you on the back and saying, oh man, I wish I could be like you. You're an entrepreneur. You don't have to go to that job anymore. And you're like, yeah, I am an entrepreneur. And as soon as they leave, you say, oh, but I ain't making no money, you know? So how do we not be that secret CEO? How do we create our own hype? How do we let everybody know what it is that we do? How do we, serve? How do we just get the word out? Look, ladies and gentlemen, you have to create your own hype. Sometimes you cannot wait on others to validate who you are. You have to kind of sometimes step out of your own way, because nowadays we have social media. You don't even need any money. All you have to do is strategically map out how many times I'm going to post, how many times I'm going to throw my hashtag out there, how many times I'm going to put a quote out there, how many times. You just have to become your own PR person. Okay? It's free. It's free. And then if you want to boost the ad on any of these social media platforms, you can do it for $5. $5. And I spoke on, did a training yesterday on YouTube. Well, YouTube, you can advertise for pennies, literally pennies. I mean, when I went in there, and I'm cheap, I'm just going to say that. I'm just going to put it out there for the record. And I put in, I wanted 5 cents per click. Well, a little pop-up came up and said, well, if you tweak it and do this, you can get it for 1 cent. What? A penny? Oh, now you're talking my language. That's like a bingo to me. You mean to tell me I can get my message out there for a penny? Ladies and gentlemen, there is no reason to be a secret CEO. There are too many avenues for you to create your own hype. Put it out there. Even if you don't have your products and services all together, so what? So what? I remember just putting my whole hashtag, this Rockstar 360 thing. I put it out there so much that I had people saying, what is that? They said it so much that I was like, ooh, I kind of don't know myself. I put it out there before I even had my products and services. And then once I pulled everything together, because look, once people start looking at you and wondering what you do and asking you for your services, oh, you will come up with a program, a product, or a service. You will figure it out. Especially if somebody says, oh, I see you out there with all the graphics and the media. Can you help me? I'll pay you. Oh, trust me.
Okay.
You will figure it out real quick. But they're only going to ask you if they know that you exist. So make sure that you learn how to create your own hype. That's something that we're going to talk about in the training. How do we put ourselves out there? What platform is best? Who should I be communicating with? If you're looking for a connection with like a CEO of a company, then Twitter is it. Okay? If you want to build this digital university, you could use YouTube. Okay? If you want to, go viral, you want to just put posts and have people run a thread, Facebook is good. It's always somebody out there that wants what you have, but if they don't know you have it, it's irrelevant. So we're going to talk about how do we create our own hype for free, for pennies. I mean, really? All you got to do is put it out there. It just takes one person to say they want what you have. Once you get that one person, you're going to get a testimonial, and they're going to say, oh, I love working with so-and-so. She was the best. She did this. She did that. And guess what? We're going to run that testimonial into the ground till you get somebody else that said, oh, shoot, I want that too. And we're going to show you how to do all those things. How do we do these little short videos? Video marketing is in. If you are not into video, I don't know what to tell you. This is hot right now, so we have to get it out there. And Facebook Live is free, and people are going to look just because. So let's create our own hype so that people know that what we do, our products and services. Because how are we going to sell those products every week if nobody knows that we have them to give? And if they pay you or say, hey, I want to pay you, you'll find a product. You will be calling me and Dr. Nadia like, look, somebody just sent $500 to my PayPal. What do I do next? I don't have anything.
Those are calls I love to receive, by the way. So don't worry. If that happens to you, don't stress out. Just call me and I will calmly walk you through what you need to do. It's great. You'll survive. After we celebrate, because we have to dance about the fact that someone just paid you. So that's really exciting. So don't worry. Just keep me on speed dial. It'll be great. So I would love for us to segue into, before we do that, Crystal had a question around how often do you post to social media? Crystal, I am not the guru on that because my social media game needs some work. So that's one of the areas where Lyric definitely holds me accountable to. But as she suggested, about 7 to 12 times a day. And then picking your different platforms that you do. And for those of you out there that are like me, that are like, that just sounds like that just made me want to go take a nap 7 to 12 times a day in social media. Don't forget that there are systems and programs and platforms out there that are available for you to take some time or assign it to your virtual assistant to set that up for you and it just auto posts. So don't allow that to overwhelm you and shut you down if that's not your strong point. So that's not a strong point for me personally, but I know, and I've seen the power of social media. So I just work around that because I know that that's not a strength for me.
Yes. And 7 to 12 times a day does sound, it is a lot. It doesn't sound a lot. It is a lot. It's like, I don't even have 7 things to say, Lyric. One is going to be a quote graphic. One is going to be you putting a little blurb in there. One is going to be a video. Another one's going to be about a product. Another one's going to be about a service. Then you're going to post another piece of thing again. Then you're going to communicate with somebody that posted on your thread. You're going to talk back to them because you got to talk back to your people now. Don't just leave them out there hanging because they want to know and love you so that they can buy from you. But the thing is, that is a lot. So there are systems out there that do auto posting, and you can even schedule them in Facebook. Facebook gives you an opportunity to schedule your posts. So you take a Sunday and you load that bad booger up with like 30 things and you hit fire. Every day at these times, I want you to shoot. And you go do something else. So therefore you have your 7 to 12 times a day. And then on Sunday, load it up again with 30 to 50 things. And it's easy. And some of these systems, if you put in keywords like entrepreneur, small business, whatever your thing is, it will search for articles and relevant content for you to post. You don't even have to go look for it. How good is that? I mean, really? You don't even have to look for it? And they're going to post it for you? That's one of the tools we're going to be talking about. And Dr. Nadia, I was thinking about giving them that tool.
I think we should. But first, we got to tell them about what we put together. So I think we did good without, letting them in on our secret, because when we get together, we pull stuff together, we sometimes have an issue with just not jumping the gun. So if you look on your screen under offers, I want you to take a look, and if you click on the getting started to getting paid button, it'll take you to our special program that we put together. It's a 6-week program, and we are so excited, and it's designed to fast track your progress from idea to cash, because we can sit here and talk about ideas and what you could do and how it could look and how it could work, but there's nothing like doing it and seeing it work to get you excited, build your confidence, and most importantly, your bank account. And so, yes, because we like to get paid, cha-ching. And so if you scroll down, if you talk about, being able to put together your action plan, really breaking it out. And it's actually 6 live video trainings. All of them will be recorded. So we'll go through step by step, and we'll start with getting started. I know that sounds like, oh my gosh, Dr. Nadia, seriously? But getting started, mapping out your vision, identifying your target market, and learning how you serve. We talked about a number of different ways you could serve or you could operate in your business, but it'll look different for every person. Session 2 is, what on earth do I offer? You talked about a $25,000 program, a $47,000 program, a $500 program. Good grief, Dr. Nadia Lyric, what is going on? That's when we'll spend time in that session going deeper and mapping out all of your products and your services and your pricing so that you'll know exactly what it is that you offer, what are the different price points, and we can also start to put together how you're going to generate and reach your revenue goals. And that's one of the things I love to do, putting together that revenue growth strategy. Session 3 is all about building your boss tribe. Now that you know who you serve and what you're going to offer them, guess what? Now it's time to go find them. How and where to find your target market, and how do you build your tribe? How do you let more people know about you and what it is that you do and how you can help them solve their problems? Session 4 is all about systems, tools, and automation, because you have a lot that you want to do, but you don't want to spend all day in your office doing it. Somebody wants to go to the beach. So how do we leverage these tools and automation to accelerate your business growth? What on earth are all these tools, and which ones are the right ones? Because trust me, you can get stuck and overwhelmed just right there. Well, which tool do I pick? Will help you decide and pull all those pieces together. Session 5 is obviously Lyric's personal favorite. Create your own hype. You don't want to be the world's best kept secret. So learn how to let the world know who you are and what you have to offer, how they can get in touch with you, and more importantly, how they can pay you for your products, programs, and services. Session 6 is my personal favorite. Show me the money, honey. So bring your calculators to this session, because we will cover strategies to generate that revenue and develop your revenue growth strategy. So we're going to pull all these different pieces. Each week is building upon the previous week in order for you to walk away with a comprehensive plan. And don't think you won't have homework. So each week is like, okay, what did you do? Because again, we're not just talking theory. We want you to put these things into action. And then because it's Lyric and I, we couldn't just stop with 6. I know we said it was only 6, but then we were like, well, you got to throw in a bonus. So we put together a special bonus section where it's putting it all into action, creating that action plan, showing you what to do and how to do it so you can leverage your momentum.
Yes.
And we didn't stop there, did we, Lyric? We just kept going. So we are also providing templates, checklists, swipe files, and more. Lyric's talking about throwing in some software. We did not talk about this prior to training, so I'll have to talk to her offline about that. But it sounds great. Just throw it all in there. And then we're also going to host a special live Q&A call with us after 30 days after the programs. We're going to give you time to put your action plan into place, start taking some steps, and then you have the opportunity to get back with us and ask any questions that you may have specific to your business and getting those answered. And this total program value is $997. But wait, we weren't done. So we just kept going. So we're also throwing in these additional bonuses, especially if you take action right now. Bonus number 1 is a ticket to my one-day event, Take the Leap, in Dallas, Texas, October 14th through the 15th. Yes, Lyric will be in the house, and we'll be, again, going deeper into all of the things that we talked about today. Bonus number 2 is a one-on-one call. Well, actually 1 to 2, huh? You'll have a private call with me and Lyric where we discuss your next steps, and we also provide specific insight on how to move your business forward fast. None of this lollygagging. Now that you have momentum, let's keep it going and move fast. And then you'll also receive a special bonus audio training around CEO mindset, because this right here, changing your mindset, is so key to being able to build your business and go from getting started to getting paid. And so the overall total program value is over $3,000, but that is not the investment. Take action today, enroll for only $397. That's hot. $397. I'm telling you, that is super hot. Or take advantage of our 2-payment option of $200 billed 30 days apart. So that'll be $400. You pay like $3 extra, nothing major there. So you can split up your payments to help with your cash flow. But you want to act now, because after September 3rd, the investment increases to $597. Increases to $597. So that is actually 7 live trainings with Lyric and myself, a ticket to the event, a special call with Lyric and myself, templates, checklists, swipe files, more. It looks like some software we're tossing in there for you. So this is an amazing value. And we really, like we said at the beginning, we're just so passionate about helping entrepreneurs get started. These are things that we wished we had when we first got started to help us stay focused, stay on track, and go from wandering in the wilderness to actually getting paid and seeing the results that we want to see in our business. So we're really excited to put that together for you. So again, to take advantage of that, click on that link. You have any questions, there's a separate button there and under the offer section that says have questions. Click on that link and it'll allow you to schedule a private call with us to ask any of those questions that you may have to help you go from getting started to getting paid. I'm also going to post the link in the chat box so you'll have it. You can jot that down in your notes so you'll have it even after the call. So I'll do that. All right. So go ahead, Lyric.
Dr. I wanted to say, I just wish I had a program like this when I was trying to figure it all out. I was a little just like, where am I going to get this help? And then when I found people that looked like they had the answer or the ability to help me, I couldn't afford the program. And I was like, oh my God, it was thousands of dollars to help me get my business together. Well, if I could afford $1,000, I would already have my business halfway together, but I just didn't. And I didn't know where to start, so I couldn't afford the coach and I couldn't afford the training from what I thought was the only training in town. And so therefore, even when I found something, it still was kind of high and there weren't any payment options. So I say to you guys, this right here, as we put a lot of thought into it, because we had to take ourselves back to the point of what was it that we wanted when we were starting out. I know I couldn't afford it. I just couldn't. I knew I needed it, but I knew I couldn't afford it. And then if it was a stretch, but then I knew I needed to do payments. I don't know about anybody else. I needed a payment plan. And I was willing to do the payment plan, but I just couldn't find anybody that could help me and then help me financially pay for it. I just needed help. So when we put this together, all the bonuses, the value of just all the bonuses, and then the thing is, we're going to talk 30 days later and say, hey, what'd you get done? Is your membership portal up, Crystal? And I'm wanting to be on Facebook like, did you get it done? I see you over there hanging out. Is your portal up? But I just wish I had that. So when putting this program together, I was like, Dr. Nadia, this is for the people. I'm the people's champ because I've been there. So what was it that I wanted? That's what I want to give to our tribe, to our people. I need a payment option and I need it to be affordable. And I need great content. I need help. Great value.
And you see, we're just going to pour it all in to help you move forward in your business. And as Lyric said at the top, what would it be like to get paid to do what you love?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So on that note, I think this is great. Again, go head on over, click on the link in the offer screen because it is a long URL. Forgive us for that one. Head on over to check out the 6-week Getting Started to Getting Paid program where you will work with Lyric and myself. And we're going to cap it at, what do we say, 20 people? So we're going to cap it. We want to keep it pretty small so that you can get individual attention, get your questions answered, have access to Lyric and myself. Come hang out with us in Dallas, spend 2 days with us, getting more questions answered and meeting more people, like-minded people, because that is so key in making this transition is to be a part of a bigger community that, like Lyric said, will hold you accountable, but also who will encourage you on those days when you're like, what on earth was I thinking when I decided that I wanted to start my business and I wanted to become an entrepreneur and really pursue my passion full time. So we are super excited that you joined us today. Any final thoughts, Lyric?
And another thing too, when you are in Dallas, it'll be so many great people there. You might find that collaboration there too. You know, you got to be in the environment. You have to be in the zone. You have to be where the people are, the like-minded people. Because yes, you have to find somebody that's going to push you, but you can also find that collaborator.
Absolutely.
They're out there. It is people that will like to do things with you, but you got to place yourself strategically in the right atmosphere. Even in this program, it's going to be other entrepreneurs that are just like you, that want the same thing. You're going to bond. You're going to, be checking on each other, holding each other accountable, and collaborating. Why not collaborate with somebody else that's in this program? That is the best thing because both of you all are doing the same thing, going in the same direction. One may do one thing, you may do the other, but it works together.
Absolutely.
So you want to take advantage of stuff like that. And a free ticket to take the leap? Y'all, the bonuses alone are stupid crazy.
And honestly, that's how Lyric and I met. We met at an event and then we were part of a group in a different program. And that's how we got to know each other. And then we just started doing stuff together and supporting each other and holding one another accountable. And here we are partnering together to pull this package and program together for you. So the same is possible for you. And just being around like-minded people, but also being able to leverage the power of the internet. And like Lyric mentioned, getting the support that you need and desire in your business to get things moving so that you can start to generate the income that you desire.
Yep. Bingo. I love it. I love it. I love it. I can't wait.
Yes. So we are getting started what do we say? We're going to get started on September 6th?
In September, yes.
Yes. So we're getting started pretty early. So don't wait. Don't delay. Again, if you have questions, feel free to reach out to us. There's that link there under the offer section that says have questions. That'll help you get onto our calendar so we can answer any questions that you may have. We look forward to working with you. And we just want to thank you for joining today's broadcast.
Yes. I love it. And Dr. Nadia, we're going to do this again, aren't we?
Say that one more time.
We're going to do this again, aren't we?
We are. We're doing it again in a couple days. So be sure to check that out. Look for us on social media so you can join us. But again, we're really excited and we're excited for the opportunity to serve you. All right. So we're going to wrap it up for today. Thank you so much for joining us. Thanks for your engagement, your questions, your insight, your ideas. And we look forward to seeing you in Getting Started to Getting Paid. We'll talk to you again soon.
Bye.
Bye.